He, however, urged the telecommunications companies to enhance with the price increase. Mr. Wale Adon let us out this Thursday while speaking on a television program. It described the tariff adjustments as essential for sustaining the sector amid rising operational costs and inflation, emphasizing the critical role of the communications sector in Nigeria's economy. The Kano State Governor, Engineer Abba Yusuf, has distributed bulls, rams, seedlings, and modern gardening tools to 340 youths who recently graduated from the Livestock and Horticulture Indo Institute. The governor's spokesman, Mr. Shanusi Tofa, made this known this Thursday. Governor Yusuf announced that each graduate would receive either two bulls or two rams, along with 3 months' worth of animal feed. Governor Yusuf explained that this initiative is part of his administration's efforts to reduce poverty and empower young people in the state. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC this Thursday destroyed fake, adulterated, and unregistered foods, drugs, and cosmetic products worth 1,367,000,000 naira seized in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The products were destroyed at a J dump site in Abuja. The Director General of NAFDAC, Babalola mentioned that the exercise is across all the zones of the Federation. Professor Adeye, represented by the Director of General's Office, Dr. Festus Ukadike, stated that they carry out the exercise at least once in a year in each zone, depending on volume of seizures made by the agency, adding that the elimination of substandard, falsified, and expired NAFDAC regulated products from the supply chain is the goal. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, says its operatives have rescued 9 pregnant women from a baby factory in Abuja. The press officer of the National Agency, Mr. Vincent Adekoye, made this known in a statement this Thursday in Abuja. Mr. Adekoye says the baby factory is situated at one of the sprawling estates in the Ushafa area of the Federal Capital Territory. The NAPTIP press officer also said the raid on the facility followed a tip-off from a concerned citizen. Mr. Adekoye added that the victims were locked up in an apartment inside the estate by a yet-to-be-identified suspected trafficking agent after they were recruited through an online platform. The Court of Appeal sitting in Akure has upheld the death sentence of a popular hotel owner, Dr. Ramon Adedoyin, who was found guilty in the murder case of an ex-master student of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Mr. Timothy Adegoke. The appellate court this Thursday noted that the judgment by the Osun State High Court, which sentenced Dr. Adedoyin to death, still stands. It also noted that the order of forfeiture of Tin Hotel is quashed and set aside. The order of education scholarship to the children of Mr. Timothy Adegoke by Dr. Adedoyin and others was also crushed and set aside. Mr. Adegoke was found dead in November 2021 at Dr. Adedoyin's Hilton Honors Hotel, Ile-Ife, where he had lodged. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force have rescued Mrs. Folashade, the wife of a former Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mr. Akim Odumosu. The Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Larry Ogunlowo, led the operation that saw to the rescue of the retired AIG's wife. Fox spokesman ACP Muyiwa Adejobi this Thursday informed of Mrs. Odumosu's rescue to newsmen. According to ACP Adejobi, during the operation, the kidnappers were neutralized while the operatives equally recovered the ransom paid to the kidnappers as bait. The chief executive of the nation's electoral umpire, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, midweek called for strict adherence to the timetable of the announced governorship election coming up later in November this year. The INEC overall boss made the call during a consultative meeting with political party leaders in Abuja on Wednesday. Professor Yakubu announced that political parties feel the the election will have to conduct the primaries to choose their candidates between March 28 and April 10th, 2025. It's added that the Commission is always mindful of its responsibilities for other elections and electoral activities. Professor Yakubu urged for the two parties to adhere to timelines for primaries and campaign schedules to enhance smooth preparations. As part of efforts put in place to achieve its renewed hope agenda, the federal government is reforming the public service through digital transformation and strengthening collaboration between the federal and state civil service. The number one civil servant in the country, Mrs. Dildy Walsing-Jag, who is leading 20 years of service on a landmark study to Singapore, made this known. She noted that the tour, which is supported by the United Nations Development at exploring Singapore's globally acclaimed public services, Walsing Jack added that the strategies in Singapore will be to enhance efficiency and accountability in Nigeria's civil service. In a remark, the Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kendi Onosanya, said the insights gained at the tour aligns with the vision of Governor Akpabio on capacity building for digitized and innovative reforms in the state. The Ogun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board has announced the commencement of sales of forms and other necessary documentation for intended pilgrims for the 2025 Holy Pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina. The Executive Secretary of the Board, Alhaji Taiwo Ajibola, made this known in a statement advising all intended pilgrims to pay an initial Hajj deposit of 8.5 billion naira, pending final approval of the Hajj fare by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. He added that all intending pilgrims who have obtained forms are to complete it and submit to the board along with photocopies of payment receipts, 10 colored passport photographs with white background, photocopies of certificates of origin, international passports, and photocopy of data page with photocopy of the NIN certificate. Alhaji Ajibola advised the intending pilgrims to also complete their payments as well as submit their documents as visa processing will commence on Friday, 28th of February, urging all intending pilgrims to visit the board's office at Block B, Okemosin, for more inquiries. The General Retreat of the Assembly of Messiah Family, Abeokuta, holds on Friday through Sunday at Famuyiwa Street, Ayoku, Bode, Olude, Erega, Abeokuta, starting from 6 p.m. on Friday to 1 p.m. on Sunday. According to a statement by the Assembly of Messiah Family, the theme of the retreat is I will call upon the Lord. It adds that Apostle Sarah Aladeshelu is the host and will be ministering alongside other ministers of God. And out of sports, Christy Coventry hopes to challenge the status quo at the International Olympic Committee (IOC) should she be elected as its first female president. The 41-year-old former swimmer would also become the youngest person and first from outside Europe or North America to head the organization in its 130 years history. Should she see off 6 other candidates and succeed Thomas Bach in the elections faced for March this year. The Zimbabwean, who is Africa's most decorated Olympian, wants to go further in empowering female athletes by putting in place stronger safeguarding procedures and providing more support for mothers. That was the news across Nigeria on OJB 9.5 FM, packaged by Adebimpe Wahab. For exclusive programs and the latest news updates, visit our website at ogunradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Ogun Radio Abeokuta and on X at OJBC 905 FM. You can also listen to OJBC on the Radio Garden.